friend. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service." So let's talk about the importance of giving back and making our communities better. I'm Ashley White, the host of Joy on the Journey podcast, a weekly podcast all about defining, finding, and maintaining joy on the journey of life. I have promised to bring inspiring and educational interviews from women that have made an impact on my life. And this week, y'all, this week is super, super special. We have with us none other than Judge Erica Hughes. She has been appointed as an immigration judge to begin hearing cases in December 2021. But prior to that, she served as the presiding judge of Harris County Criminal Court at Law Number 3 and with Harris County Veterans Treatment Court in Houston. She is a military veteran and former judge advocate with the U.S. Army National Guard. Judge Erica, it
Hello.
is such a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
It is such a pleasure to finally be here. Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this podcast, too.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, before we get started, I was telling Erica, oh my God, almost
Over 20 years ago, probably.
wow, yeah, over 20
It's
years
crazy.
ago, I met Erica on the campus of Prairie View A&M University, Go Campus.
Yes.
What I remember is she was a member of Eta Beta chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. And y'all, this was, 20 years before God answered my prayer. I would see Erica and her sorors on campus and hit all of my friends. Y'all, look. There they go. And I just want to thank you again for the way you all carried yourselves. You were such leaders on campus and then continue to take over the world. And so when I became a member, I was like, man, I get to be with them now.
Welcome to the sorority, for sure. And yes, you are with us now. And I definitely remember you at Prairie View, right, and your work on campus. So thank you for your service and leadership even then.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we start every podcast, because it is defining, finding, and maintaining joy on the journey of life, by asking every guest, how do you define joy?
I define joy definitely based off of my spiritual connection to God. A lot of times it is not well in life or on this journey called life. My grandmother used to say, every day God gives you brand new mercies and brand new grace. And to me, that is my definition of joy, to find joy on this journey no matter what. If it's well, still have an innate joy that comes from God. If it is not well, to still have a joy, to be happy to be here and be appreciative of the brand new mercies and grace, even if it is not well. So that is joy for me. And not necessarily being happy, but having joy in spite of whatever situation's going on.
Oh, that's so good, to be knowing that things will be well.
Definitely. And it's not even a fate, situation. It's that it is going to eventually be well. It's not well right now in my life in some instances. And I know that it will be well because I believe it. And every time it always turns out well. Life just is a circle. When it's not well, I know it will get well for sure, because it's happened before to me. And God's no respecter of people.
Not at all.
If it's well for you today, it's going to be my time sometime soon.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. And so what do you do in those seasons when it's like, oh, Lord, this is not well. This is the opposite of what I have hoped for. What do you do to maintain your joy in those seasons?
Every day, being consistent and reading the word and praying and checking myself as well to say, it's not a promise that it's always going to be well in your life. Be who you say you are in these situations and accept what's happening. Learn what lesson God wants you to learn, or even if you don't learn the lesson, be in this season. Everything has a season, and this is the season for you to be in, and you have to own that and be in that season and really be aware of what's going on around. So I am really consistent in just my dedication to devotion, to doing positive things like working out, try to eat better, even during those times, because all of those things kind of affect your mood, your joy. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm really consistent, more intentional during those times when it's not well.
Oh, that's so good. And I think a message, one that I heard, consistency and dedication. Because even though things can be going on all around us, you have made a habit of, no, this is how I'm going to start my day. This is how I'm going to be intentional, as you said, in getting through this day, no matter what the happenstances may be.
Hmm.
I want to pick on something you also said is be who you know you are. So if you had to put that into a sentence, I am, who, what would you say? How would you complete that?
I would say it varies because sometimes I am something that's not who I am presently, but I am striving who I'm supposed to be. That is who I am. I am always striving to attain who I'm supposed to be, and who I am supposed to be is someone that's serving and helping other individuals always. And so whatever season I'm in or whatever role I'm in, that I'm always doing that to give back to others. I think that's what I'm always striving to do.
To be a servant, to be a servant leader. So that shifts us to what you do now. And but I want to talk about how you got there. One of the
Okay.
things I love about this podcast is getting a chance to hear and see how God has orchestrated the paths of your life to get you where you are. And it makes me wonder if God gave you more hours in a day than he gave most other people. So I wonder, as you consider your personal and professional journey, what has wowed you?
Where I am today it wows me the most. Just I can look back too over my life, and there are some moments that I'm just like, wow, God, you did what you said you were going to do, or what you promised, definitely. And why am I wowed by him saying he would do something, or speaking to me saying this would happen, and it actually happens? Just because I am wowed that it is me, you chose me, you gave me the opportunity to actually do these things. So
Mm-hmm.
it wows me to look back over my life for sure. But where I am today too, it wows me.
That's good to stay in a while. So in 2019, you were a part of history here in Harris County, being one of the 19 black women elected as judges. And the campaign was known as Black Harris County or Harris County Black Girl Magic. When you recall those moments of the campaign and really seeking that office, what sticks out to you the most?
What sticks out to me the most is a lot of times when you're in the midst or in something,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really get the magnitude of it. But what sticks out to me the most were the other 18 women, having other 18 black women who were qualified, who were smart, who were witty, who were believers, funny, all of these personalities, but different,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and having their support to go along in the journey was the thing that stands out to me the most, because there were good times and there were not good times, but to have them with me along on the journey definitely always stands out. Specific moments, specific individuals, yeah, it always stands out.
And so that leads to my next question is how important has sisterhood and support been to your journey?
I would say it's been an integral part of my journey. Um, who you surround yourself with, and proximity matters.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you are being mentored, or when you're on the same level with colleagues, or when you're mentoring or helping others, proximity definitely matters. So being with sisters and women just throughout life, growing up, women in my family, friends in college, high school, and even now with that campaign has been an integral part of my life and has helped me get further faster.
Mm.
If you want to go, I think the saying is, if you want to go fast, go at it alone. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to go further, go with other people. And so sisterhood has definitely helped me get to where I am today.
So I want to know, why did you have the passion to go into politics? Because politics, whether Harris County, state of Texas, um, no matter what political office that you seek, has its challenges in getting started,
Hmm.
getting supporters, building the fundraising efforts. So, what gave you the courage to even start?
So you mentioned that you met me back on the campus of Prairie View, A&M. And on the campus of Prairie View, I served in student government. And even back then, Texas politics, Waller County, last place for the slave stronghold in Texas for slavery being abolished. It was an issue then, even for us to vote in Waller County. They wanted students in college to go back to their hometown to vote, which is not possible usually on a Tuesday. And then again, I went back and taught at Prairie View after I graduated as well, and I was over their pre-law program. So the 9 law schools in Texas were looking for minority students, and so they created funding to create a pre-law program. So I went back and taught on the campus, and we basically filtered law students, minorities, African Americans, into the 9 law schools. They paid for like LSAT prep for the students. They paid for them to do tours and go to different law firms and other parts of legal to introduce them to legal, to the law. And a lot of them are law students. I still keep in touch with them as well. But anyhow, during that time, I ran for judge at Waller County because at that time, again, there had been a march on campus. They were trying to keep the students from voting. And in Waller County, if you live in the city of Prairie View, there are politicians that are minorities, but most of the other counties are cities within Waller County. It's not. And they were trying to suppress the vote and oppress the students. So I ran then, and I lost then as well in Waller County. And after that, I was like, I thought, Lord, this is what you told me to do. This is what you called me to do. But I lost. So this can't be it. That was in 2010. So I ran, 8 years later. But it's just a calling on my life for sure. Calling me back into the fold, calling me back out again to run, and it's always been there. It just wouldn't be suppressed. It wouldn't stay quiet.
I love talking about the waiting season. So between your first election and the loss, and then your next election and the win, those 7 or 8 years in between, what do you think the loss helped you to learn to prepare you for the 2018 election?
And so in the losing season, when I kind of got over myself, as in, Lord, I lost the election. You didn't let me win. I'm upset. This is not what you called me to do. You said I would be a judge. Clearly, that's not what you meant. I lost, right? So after that tantrum or pout, then really sitting down and speaking to God, what are you saying from the loss? And the answer was, you need to go back and be better prepared. And that's why you see what some people call a re-up, or you're in preseason, or you're working 2-a-days basically to get better, to get stronger, to get faster from an athlete standpoint. But during that time, I went back and got better from a legal standpoint as an attorney, and worked on my craft and got better. I went to the military then as well, and served as a judge advocate general, which is just an attorney for the Army.
Okay.
And went to their law school, to military law school. And so just got better in my career to come back stronger and say, now also add these credentials to my resume. Now I'm running for judge again. So that was just in that season of, okay, you lost and you're down. It looks like you're down, but you're getting better, working on yourself.
Yeah, so one of the previous guests from season 1, her name is Minister Crystal Beard, and the title of her episode is Pout or Prepare.
I like it.
And so what I hear in what you did was, I could either stay in this, the loss.
Yeah.
I can either stay in the bitterness of it, or I can take what I learned and prepare myself by going into the military, which we're going to talk about that. But getting more education, growing in your skills, so that when the time did come, your resume and efforts spoke for itself of why you were best qualified to lead in Harris County.
Yeah, and I'll go back to be who you're called to be in that season. And it still is a winner. I'm saying we lost. But you're called to be a winner. You winning. And here we are, 2018. We won. I won that seat as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. So from the military to politics, when you were in the military, what inspired you to even go?
So ironically, at Prairie View, I always wanted to be in the military, but I didn't want to do ROTC, which was a very strong. They had a strong presence on our campus, but I didn't want to be in the military in school. But I did want to go to law school, and I wanted to be in the military always. My father served in the military. Uncles had served in the military as well. So I definitely come from a military family, and my dad was in the Army. And so I always wanted to be in the military. And so it was just a matter of if I was going to go in enlisted or as an officer.
Gotcha.
And after I did the research, I knew enlisted was not for me, definitely, to go in as an officer. And so you have to have a degree to go in as an officer. And so that was what started that journey, for sure.
And so how many years did you serve as a judicial advocate?
As JAG, I was JAG for 4 years. I only did one term. Went to the law school, and then after military law school, served as one term. Went in as a first lieutenant, and then I got honorable discharge as a captain.
Come on, Captain. Come on. And so, what did you learn about yourself as having finally accomplished, like, okay, I want to go in as an officer, but then as you are growing, literally growing in the ranks, how different was the reality from what your expectations were?
Very different, because what the Army recruitment or what they sell for military, if you go in as a chaplain, as a doctor, as an attorney, the benefits and how they treat you, they sell it because they want to recruit you, and they lack usually that professional skill set.
Okay.
And so they sell it in a different way. But the reality is you still go away, you go to a tailored boot camp for officers or for lawyers, which is different from what regular officer candidacy, what they go through. But to be away, to step away from my career as well, because I was a practicing attorney when I went, and to be in a town, Fort Benning, Georgia, which is one of the training facilities, and to go from, I mean, I had my own home at this time, and to go to back to a dorm situation, essentially, for the military, and go through boot camp and go through land navigation and go through, PT, physical training. That was different. And so that was definitely a reality check, and really a check to see, can you actually do this? Are you going to be who you said you are and sign up for this and actually go through this and graduate and complete the task? And then to go back to school again, because I had been to Prairie View, I had been to law school, and then to go to military law school, which is located on the campus of University of Virginia in Charlottesville, Virginia. And so to do that as well, all of it, the training before you actually get to be a JAG, it was a reality check and a gut check too. This is what you signed up for, and are you up to the task? But to be able to do it and complete the task was rewarding. That I made it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like from your journey that completion is important.
Definitely. I would say my dad is someone who is of the thought that if you start it, you need to finish it. Playing sports, doing any extracurricular activity growing up, school, that's his, motto. You need to finish what you start. And so completion is important for sure.
That is so interesting to me, because every time as you're telling the journey of your life, it's, I started this, I believed in it, and then I completed it, whether it was what you thought it was going to be, whether it was better or, than your greatest expectations.
Yeah.
You were intentional on starting and finishing.
I've talked about spiritually, a lot of times today, but if you think about just God's journey to the cross, and it's hard. Are you going to complete these things? And a lot of times today, people start things and they don't complete it because it's not comfortable or because they don't like it. That's important to me. You have to complete the task you were called to do, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you don't like it. Because at the end of the day, is it about you or is it about more people than you? And a lot of times it's about more people than you. And so you need to complete the task, not just for you, but for the others.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that just hit me different. It hit me different because sometimes Ah, man, that hit me different. Because we think of ourselves.
Yeah, when it's
I need to
uncomfortable.
start this and
Mm-hmm.
finish it.
What are the benefits for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And so many times and let me not say we, me. If I quit, it's like, well, I quit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't consider or have not considered who I then impact because I didn't finish what I started.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Told y'all I do these podcasts for me. But if you blessed by it, then praise the Lord. But that just hit me different.
Because the cross is that, right? It wasn't for him. It was for everybody else. So you got to think about your journey or your calling. Is it for you? How is it affecting others?
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
wow. That is so impactful. As a judge, you are now open to the criticisms and opinions and thoughts of others, and not just of your legal opinions, but also of your life decisions.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle the weight of that responsibility?
A lot of times I don't even really think about it. I feel like, again, God's called me to this, and so He makes the burden light. It's a yoke. I'm yoked up with Him, and so He makes it very light as far as the opinion of others. It's almost like it's coming. You have to expect it. That's what the job calls for. And so I'll be criticized by colleagues that are attorneys, right? Because you have to be an attorney to be a judge. So they are also criticizing you or critiquing you as to if they think you're a good jurist. A lot of times you're getting criticized, of course, by just the public who's in your court and who is before your court. And then the media as well, that sees outside looking in because they don't know all of the details going on. And then family and friends. And you would be surprised, just social media, right?
Yeah.
Personal things that maybe you'll do. It affects the position or the seat. People definitely want to wait or give their opinion on that. But at the end of the day, and I think about my time on the bench or as a judge, I would say it hasn't been too bad, and that's just because I think I'm in my calling, and that's what I'm supposed to do. So I just I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's coming,
Yeah.
and sometimes it has been hard. Some media backlash for sure. So much, in fact, that we even hired a publicist to represent the judges because the media was coming down so tough, and you can't say anything back as a judge.
Right.
And so we wanted kind of a do-good publicist for Harris County, and so we hired someone, and I actually reached out to a colleague and friend from Prairie View, Shalia
Yes.
Reed. Yes, Hughes. We always say we're cousins because her
Mm-hmm.
maiden name is Hughes. We're not, but she is my cousin. So I reached out to her, and we actually hired somebody that she referred that she had worked with. But it can become difficult, but it hasn't been because of things like that and people that come alongside to help the situation.
That's good too. Even if you're not in a judicial setting, to be mindful the weight that we put on ourselves, the weight of responsibility is when you are operating in, as you said, what God has called you to do. Whatever comes to you, God will equip you to be able to handle it.
For sure.
So many of us see or hear your accomplishments of your career and may forget that there is a person that's actually in the robe, that there's a person sitting in the seat. How do you maintain your self-care?
So growing up, I'm really close to my family.
Okay.
Literally would spend summers with cousins in the country. East Texas is where my mom and dad are both from, a small town in Northeast Texas. And so family and friends is a big part of me, and that help me stay grounded and that help me remember who I am. And I like to have fun. And so getting to have fun and spend family time and do normal, average, everyday things, spades, dominoes, food. I love food, cooking, eating, and traveling, and working out. And so I would say wellness for me is definitely being around my family and friends and just spending time with them. And if that's enjoying food, if that's enjoying a game or a movie, travel, but definitely friends and family is me. That makes me happy.
I also know that you are a mentor to many as they are moving in their career. They see your career and they're like, hey, how do I I do
Mm-hmm.
this.
Tap, tap. Yes.
If you can think about some advice that you've given to some, young law students or folks that's looking at it, what do you think is the most impactful advice that you have given and or been gave?
I think a lot of times people try to be something that they are not, or copy, essentially. And I'm not saying don't get a blueprint and use that blueprint to get to where you want to be, but be who you are in every situation. In your law school application, I told you I used to help the pre-law students go into law school. Look at your colleagues and then ask yourself, what did everybody else say on their law school application that they applied for? And what do you have different that makes you stand out? And if you don't have that, then work on getting that makes you different to stand out, or ask God to show you what that is. And he will give you something, or it will be something that makes you different. Accept that and be happy about what makes you different, because that is what is setting you apart and making you stand out. And so just be who you are. Be who you're supposed to be.
Oh, that's good. Be who you're supposed to be. And I think my final question in this section before we talk about your journey ahead. Currently, you are a federal immigration judge. I don't want to get deep into the political piece of where our country, or really state, falls in terms of immigration. But I am sure you hear some horror and sorrowful stories. How do you maintain your joy given what you take in on a daily basis?
So mentally, you can prepare yourself, but there are going to be some things that you don't expect. It doesn't match up to what you expect. I definitely have to take a step back, return to, like we talked about before, some of the things that I enjoy, because it can be taxing and it can be a weight on you mentally. When you hear these cases, when you hear these stories, when you see these things happening to individuals, and to still follow the law, and to still take your self-care into consideration. And so if it's taking a wellness day, if it's being around friends and family, and just remember to have fun and balance, because if you don't, it will definitely consume or overwhelm you. So you have to have some balance in doing some things that you love, that make you happy, for sure.
Finding the things that you love, and not forgetting that you are a person and not the position.
Indeed. Definitely.
That's good. And that's good advice for all of us. No matter what your career, you are more than your title.
Indeed. Always, you are more than your title.
You are more than your title. 'Cause at some point, we will all retire from something.
For sure. For sure. Or you may not even be doing that. You know, the next phase of your life, it may be something completely different.
Oh, that's true.
And so, yeah, don't let the title define you.
Don't let the title define you. So as we move to this next segment, which is your journey ahead, as you are seeking and praying and being intentional and steady with the Lord, would you dare share your vision, your hope, your dream for yourself over the next 5 years?
Over the next 5 years, I would think that I would not be in this position anymore. Down the road, I have other aspirations that I would want to pursue. And so I am going to step out on faith and pursue those. A lot of my colleagues in this position, it's a lifetime appointment. So technically, I could do this for the rest of my life. But the Lord has already told me you're not called to do this for the rest of your life when I started. And so, and he reminds me too daily, this is not it. So, do well at this task, but you have something else. And so I can't say exactly what that is. I do have aspirations to be somewhere else. You guys have probably seen in the news recent, we just got a new Supreme Court justice that's an African American female. And so that also has definitely kind of broadened my horizons or opened my mind to other things. I don't know what it is next, but this is definitely not it. Coming soon, because it's going to be in the next 5 years. Maybe when this airs, I'll be doing something different or working on something different.
Oh, that's exciting. That's so exciting. If there is a law student or a pre-law student that's like, I need help, how can someone get in touch with you if they're looking for mentorship, if they're looking for, guidance? Not legal advice, y'all.
Not legal advice.
Not legal advice. Career advice, Yes. How can they get in touch with you?
I would say don't call the courthouse or use that email just because the staff is more protective, right, of who they give the information out or if they pass messages along. A lot of times they won't. They don't. So social media. Um, you would be surprised. People use the term slide in the DM, right? But no, you would be surprised how many law students have written me on direct messenger or in my inbox on Facebook or written me on Instagram, and I have responded to them. I don't manage my page, but I get those messages. A law student usually manages my page, and they will tell me, hey, Judge, we got this inquiry. Are you interested? Or I'll see anybody out and about. I'll go to events. If you see me, tap me on the shoulder for sure. Just write a message on social media, and I will respond to you and see if we can help each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much. This has blessed me in so many ways. Completing what you start, being intentional and consistent. I'm going to be starting a challenge here probably right when this airs. I'll be starting a 75-day health challenge. And so I needed to hear start and finish.
Start and finish.
Be consistent and be intentional with the decisions that I'm making. So thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
It's going to be tough, 75-day challenge. Bless your heart.
Lord.
You can do it, though. You're going to do it. I can't wait.
Yes, we are going to finish
Yes,
it. But
yes.
thank you so much because it's bigger than just me. It's the impact of being able to produce content like this. The healthier I am, the more episodes that we will be able to do. So,
indeed.
again, broadening my mind and perspective. So,
Okay.
thank you so much. Y'all, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it makes us more discoverable. But until we meet again every single Thursday, may God increase your joy, grant you strength for the journey, and give you the courage to tell your story. Bye, friends.